my friends, this is Tanya and today I'm going to show you how to make handmade Christmas home decor, and you will not need any sewing machine. I show you how to make it by your hands. Okay my friends, first of all we need to make the template for our Christmas tree from the simple office paper. So I fold my paper in half. Then I'm going to measure, let's say 12 centimeters as a height from the bottom, and the width will be 4.5 centimeters. So let's measure. Okay, let's measure 4.5 centimeters. Then I'm going to connect these two marks from the bottom and to the top like this, like a curvy line. So here, like this. Let me just draw it again, then you can see the shape of our Christmas tree. So like this. Now I'm going to cut off this template. And for the stem we'll need this simple rectangle 4 on 3 centimeters. So you can just cut off this small template for the stem. Okay, so this is the template for our Christmas tree. And now let's talk about the materials. First of all, the fabric. I'm going to use the pure linen, the green one and the beige one. And this is actually the leftovers that I have from the dress. And I recommend you also to use the leftovers and do not buy the special fabric, because actually you can use any color that you have. It doesn't matter that you do not have the green fabric. You can use orange, blue, you can make the red Christmas tree. It's up to you, and this is your home decor and you are free to use any fabric that you have at home. So also I have the threads in the color of fabric, of course. For the stuffing our Christmas trees, I'm going to use synthetic fluff. You can find it in any hobby markets, and this is usually for stuffing toys and pillows. Then I have cotton braid or cotton tape. I don't know actually how it sounds in English, but I just bought it in the fabric store. Then you can also have an option to find the different colors, but I think I will use the light one. Also we need some decoration for our Christmas trees, and I have the wooden buttons, and I think I will use exactly these buttons. You can have the buttons, beads, anything that you have at home. Also I have as an option, it's a seashell, I mean the buttons from the seashells, and this is nice. I love these buttons, but with decoration I will decide a little bit later. So now let's have a look on what kind of details you need to sew the one Christmas tree. So the main detail, we will have the two details of this. Our stem, we also have two details. So I just cut off my Christmas tree from the linen, and as you see I have two details, and let's just have a look. Here I have two details. Then I forgot to say that you need the simple circle detail in the same fabric as your Christmas tree, and the circle diameter is 6 centimeters. So this is details for our Christmas tree, and 2 details for the stem. So I have the in different color, and like 3 centimeters of this cotton braid that we're going to make the loop for on the top of our Christmas tree. And for our garland we will need at least 5 or 6 Christmas trees. Now let's sew the first Christmas tree, and first of all I'm going to show you the back stitching, how to do the back stitching. And I'm going to make all the pieces by hand. Of course I have a sewing machine, but I want to show you the option if you do not have the sewing machine, and you will see it is easy, but of course it will take some time. But let's just make a knot in the end of the thread, and I'm going to show you how to do this back stitching. So why the back stitching? Why this stitch called the back stitching? Because every time we will move the needle the back. I just show you. So the first stitch, I'm just make the needle from the bottom. Okay, 1 second, I'll just fix my camera. Okay, nice. Now we're going to move our needle just step back, you know, like here we have our, if you can see, here we have our thread, just step back and forward. See, here I have my thread, you can see, just put the needle like this, and now we have the first stitch. Now we're going to make again the step back right here on the first stitching, the same place, almost the same place, back and step forward. See, it's just easy. And pull the thread. Okay, 1 second. Now we have the second stitch, and it should be straight, but since I'm doing it in my hands, again step back almost in the same place as the previous stitch and step forward. So just remember that we do the step back with the needle. Again, the step back and step forward and pull it out. Okay, and you will need to have the straight line, but again, since I'm doing it in my hand in the air, of course it's not really straight, but I guess you will deal with this stitching. Now it's time to sew our Christmas tree. So I joined 2 details of our Christmas tree, and I'm going to pin it with the sewing pins. And on this step we're going to make a loop like this and put inside our details, between the details. So when we will turn it out, the loop will be in the right position. So I'm going to put the loop inside like this, see, and pin it and join these details with a sewing pin and stitch 2 details with the back stitching from one corner to the other corner. And let me just show you where I'm going to stitch my details from this corner to this corner. So the bottom we will leave open. And here what I got, you can see from this side how this stitching looks like, and from this side. Okay, now we're going to stitch the bottom to this detail. So I took my thread, make a knot, and show you how I'm going to do this. I'm just going to take this circle, the place inside, and make the back stitching again. And one thing that you may trouble is that the circle a little bit longer than the detail of the Christmas tree, so you can make some folds, and this is not a problem to make it and stitch it nicely. So as you can see on the video, sometimes I make a folds because this circle a little bit bigger than my Christmas tree detail, but this is not a problem actually. So I almost done, and I'm not going to stitch the whole circle. I'm going to leave a small gap for the stuffing this toy. And here you can see this gap, the small gap. It's maybe around 2 centimeters, and I'm going to leave this place without any stitching. Now we are going to make the stem. So I took these 2 details of my stem, joined together, and here I marked with a pencil where I'm going to make the stitch from here to here, and I'm going to leave like 1.5 centimeter, like the gap, without any stitching. So let's make it. And after you stitch together 2 details, you can cut the extra fabric from the corners. Here we are, our stem. Now it's the time to turn these details out, and it's kind of difficult, but it's possible. So here I just turn it out, the main detail, and I'm going to turn it out the stamp, and probably I will use the sewing pin because this gap is so small, and I'm going to use this pin to turn it out like this. It's quite difficult, but after you will make 5 or 6 things, it will be much easier for you. So here we are, and for this small gaps we are going to stuff our details. So as you see, I'm stuffing these toys for this little gap that will leave without stitching. And probably stuffing is my favorite part of this process. So here we are, we have our Christmas tree. I guess it's enough of fluff. So our stamp, it will be much difficult because of this small gap, but I'm going to take the small pieces of the synthetic fluff and helping with the scissors and fingers to put this fluff inside. So we have our stamp, and we're going to stitch these small gaps. Now here you can see we're going to join together the bottom and the main side and just stitch here. All details I stitch with a back stitching, and these gaps I'm going to stitch, I don't know how this called, but I'll show you closer. So I put my needle from the top to the bottom and pull it out, and again from the top to the bottom and pull it out like this. It's so easy. And the same process with the closing the stamp. Again, I will show you. I put the needle and I'm going to hide my knot inside this stamp like this, helping with the needle. Okay, now I'm going to put my needle from the top to the bottom, pull it out again from the top to the bottom. Okay, pull it out, and again from the top. So you always start from the top, bottom, pull it out, top, bottom, pull it out. Now we're going to join the stamp with our main detail. So I'm going to put right in the middle, and okay, let me just fix this shape. You can fix with the fingers the shape like this. Okay, nice. And I'm going to stitch the stamp in the middle of the bottom like this. I use the same technique of stitching that I used to close the small gaps when we were stuffing the toys. And this stitch called blind seam, I don't know, is it correct to say in English? And as you see, I stitched the stem from one side and then from the other side also. And finally we are done with the first detail of our home decoration. Here we are, one Christmas tree. And here I have the sixth one. Of course it took time to make it, but when you will see the result you will understand that it's worth it. Now we are going to decorate our Christmas tree. So I have as an option, I have the wooden buttons and seashell buttons, and I'm going just to try which one will be the best for my Christmas trees. Now we are going to try, and I'm going to pin with the sewing pins on this Christmas tree the seashell buttons, and on this Christmas tree I'm going to pin the wooden buttons, and just to try and see which option I do like the much more. So here we have, and actually I really like how these both trees look like. So this is a seashell buttons and this is the wooden buttons, but I guess I will leave the wooden buttons because I have natural fabric, linen, cotton thread, and probably the wooden would be much better. Yes, I will leave wooden buttons for sure. And after you will stitch your buttons to the tree, you can add also some beads. For example, I will put this sewing pins, and you can see, for example, how the beads will look like. But let me just change the red one on the white one. Yeah, so probably I like this option more with the wooden buttons and the white beads. So I have my Christmas tree done, and I'm going to put it, so I will make these beads later, but now I'm just going to show you how to put all these Christmas trees on the thread. So we are going to put one Christmas tree on this cotton thread, but since we have our loop like this, you'll see that this Christmas tree hangs like by the side. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to make one more loop like this. I'll show you. So took the end of your cotton string and make a loop, one more loop like this, and pull it out. So you have your Christmas tree is like hanging by face. One more again, I'll show you from the other side. It doesn't matter from what side you're going to put your Christmas tree. So like this, one more loop and pull it out, and here you have your Christmas tree. Nice. And also you can fix each tree with a bead. And here we have our home decor, and I hope you like it, and I hope you enjoy the process. And if you like the video, just hit the like, comment and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much.